your morning going. Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick. All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now,
take my talents to South Beach.
Live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Monday morning, November 17th. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch the stream live, and you can be part of the stream by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And as always, you can be part of the show by calling, texting in 804-327-0888. If you don't have that number saved already, go ahead and make it a contact. That'll make it easier for you to call in and to, of course, text in your overreactions on this Monday, because I've got a whole list of them. And Sam Darnold, I'm watching you. That'll be coming up in Overreaction Monday, because I think the clock struck midnight. And we've got a pumpkin on our hands over there in the Pacific Northwest. But that's besides the point. Because, Alan, I'm not to bring a carryover from Unsportsmanlike with their last segment that leads perfectly into this. I'm over referees.
I was going to say, don't bring me in this.
I'm over referees. And I get it. Last night's Sunday night football game was not necessarily, quote unquote, decided on that final defensive pass interference, the phantom defensive pass interference on A.J. Brown, but it sure as heck felt like it. It was a 16-9 win last night for the Philadelphia Eagles. Congratulations to them for pulling it out. Felt like Philly really dominated that game, and the fact that it was a 7-point game late was really shocking in and of itself. Jared Goff finished 14 of 37, 255, a touchdown and a pick. It was one of Jared Goff's worst career performances. At one point, he went 2 for 18. He was really struggling out there against the Eagles. So the fact that it even came down to a defensive pass interference call late in the game was shocking. So I'm not trying to take anything away from the Eagles. However, and this is a big however, if you're going to have expedited reviews and you're going to have a quote-unquote eye in the sky, that's the type of scenario that you should be using it for. It clearly was not a defensive pass interference. If anything, and you heard Chris Collinsworth say this, I mean, he was adamant about it on the broadcast. If anything, it was A.J. Brown who extended his arms to create separation. Should have been an offensive pass interference. But in all reality, it should have been neither. And that was, I think, the second or third phantom DPI call, pass interference call of the day. There was one in the Madrid-Spain game featuring the Commanders and the Dolphins. But it's just, in a primetime game, you've got quite literally the whole country, every NFL fan, tuned in and watching. And that is when expedited reviews should come into play. And it just feels like the referees, the head referees in New York, refuse to throw their own guys underneath the bus. I don't understand it. And Philly, they got the win. They're a gritty team. They were able to gut it out. Jalen Hurts, 14 of 28, 135, no touchdowns, no picks. Saquon Barkley, 83 yards, averaging 3.2 yards per carry. The offense still leaves a lot to be desired in Philly, but they got the necessary yardage when it mattered the most, and they pulled out the win. But, man, I hate how the referees are deciding games so often now. And it might just be because things seem just to have a microscope on them. I'm not sure, but that play last night really bothered me, really got under my skin, because it was for the principle. I'm a big principle guy, and it was on principle that they didn't get that right, and that's kind of unacceptable.
Yeah, they never call PI on the offense unless it's the rub
combination.
Yeah,
exactly.
Debo got called for PI, offensive PI, in the game against the Dolphins for a rub concept, and I'm not 1,000% sure that was applied right. But last night should have been a no call. I think Collinsworth, he's got his bias because he's a receiver, but it was warranted that time. Just like he said, he showed the highlight of AJ because he's a receiver. he's got every right to like criticize that call because he would know firsthand. Like the arm extension was by AJ, the contact initiated is by AJ. You can't bail AJ out there.
It's so frustrating. And then granted, the Lions didn't deserve to really be in that game. And I know I've been a defender of fourth down decision making of going for it. Dan Campbell's the funniest coach ever because he says analytics be damned. He does not follow analytics. He just goes off a gut. I think he has said in past press conferences that he's just like, I want to do what the other team is afraid of me doing. And so he goes out and goes for it. I think they had, 4 turnovers on downs, 5 turnovers on downs on failed fourth down conversions. And yet when they should have gone for it on fourth down with about 5 minutes left in the ball game, he ends up punting it back to the Philadelphia Eagles. That was so head-scratching. That was so funny. That the Lions are just a weird team. Dan Campbell's fourth down decision-making needs to be studied in a lab because he does it when he's not supposed to. He does it when he's supposed to. He just he flies by the seat of his pants, as they say.
Yeah, no, team meathead, man. He's a madman. I am from the school of if that's what you normally do, then stick to it. So every time, like he did the punt with 5 minutes left. Brandon Staley was the same way. He went the whole year going for it on fourth down.
Staley
gets into like the biggest game of the year, I think, against the Raiders. Like if they win, they go to the playoffs, and he decides to punt the one time that he should have went for it. So like those hesitations sometimes turn me off on the coaches and their decisions. But if that's your moniker, if you're a fourth down guy, if you're an aggressive guy, that's fine. The Lions have the weapons to execute those plays. It was never like a crazy 4th and 15.
Yeah,
but
the crazy part was then with 5 minutes left being like, I'm going to punt the ball. Like that was the crazy part. It's also hilarious. Benjamin Solak, friend of the program, he tweeted this out. In Jared Goff's career, outdoors under 50 degrees, we're not talking 32, we're not talking freezing, we're talking 50 degrees. Jared Goff is a career sub 60% completion passer. That is insane. That is insane. I mean, wow, from Benjamin Solak. All right, let's go out to the phone line, starting things off here on this Monday morning, November 17th. We got Mike on line 1. Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? This is Jack.
Yes, sir. Is this Mike?
Yeah, this is Mike from Ticket Talk Tonight. I think you're an app.
What a guy. What a guy. I guess I should say something real quick on that. I mean, they're just crazy people out there, you know? There's some crazy people. So, on that note, let's take it to what you may have missed around the wide world of sports overnight, because there was a lot happening in the wide world of sports.
This is your Fitz the Bill morning update, getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
All right, yesterday in the Steelers' 34-12 win over the Bengals, Aaron Rodgers suffered a wrist injury. According to preliminary reports, the initial concern is that Rodgers has suffered a slight break in his non-throwing wrist. He will undergo further testing today. Last night on Sunday Night Football, the Eagles down the Lions 16-9. Eagles move to 8-2, while the Lions fall to 6-4, sit third in the NFC North. A.J. Brown was targeted 11 times, had 7 receptions, 49 yards. Chiefs lost a heartbreaker to the Broncos on a last-second field goal. Denver has now won 8 straight. Chiefs fall to 5-5. The Chiefs are now 3 games back from the Broncos in the AFC West. Don't hold the tiebreaker advantage, meaning Kansas City will likely fail to win the division for the first time since 2016. In Buffalo, Josh Allen erupted for 6 total touchdowns. The reigning MVP had another MVP-type performance. 3 passing, 3 on the ground. It was a high-flying affair in which Buffalo took down the Bucs 44-32. In MLB news, the Mariners and first baseman Josh Naylor agreed to a 5-year contract per Jeff Passan. In NBA action, LeBron's returned to the Lakers to begin practicing as he attempts to ramp back up after missing the start of the season with sciatica. For the Mavericks, Anthony Davis will remain out at least another week. The big man is recovering from a calf strain. And on the other side of the calf strains, Spurs' Victor Wembanyama missed the team's last game with calf tightness. His status moving forward is questionable. In the Division II football playoff action, Following the CIAA championship loss to Johnson C. Smith, and congratulations to Johnson C. Smith on that awesome CIAA championship win, Virginia Union will host a Division II football playoff game on Saturday at Hovey Field against the great California University of Pennsylvania. I didn't know you could get two states into one school name, but look, they did it. 1 p.m. kick at Hovey Field on Saturday. And in high school football playoffs, it was a fantastic weekend of action, and we've got the next round set. LC Bird, following its win over Western Branch, gets Oscar Smith. Thomas Dale will face off with Manchester, following Manchester's 38-28 win over Lansdowne. In Region 5C, Hermitage will square off with Patrick Henry from Roanoke, and Highland Springs will host William Fleming. In 4B, Dinwiddie gets Verina down there in Dinwiddie. The matchup we've all been waiting for, a highly anticipated showdown, will kick on Saturday. And also, Huguenot will travel to Louisa in Region 4B. In Region 3A, Petersburg had an impressive 40-7 win over York. Petersburg will host Hopewell on Friday night. LC Norcom and Lake Taylor are also set to play. And in 2A, Thomas Jefferson will go to Armstrong on Friday night in what should be a fantastic 2A showdown. And in private school action, Benedictine pulled off a three-peat. First time that they have won back-to-back-to-back VIS AA championships. Defeated Trinity 20-0 in the Division I championship game. It was the sixth shutout of the year for Benedictine, so congratulations to them for winning the state championship in VIS AA play. A really impressive championship performance as well. All right, we're going to get a quick break in here, be a little bit ahead of time. On the other side, we've got to break down what happened in Madrid, Spain. The Commanders' defense, well, they played pretty darn well. The offense didn't hold up their end of the bargain this time around. That's coming up here on Fitz the Bill.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer joins Bob Black for the Henrico Huddle, ESPN Richmond's newest monthly feature.
This is what you want on Thanksgiving. This is not what you want on Thanksgiving. So if you're already hearing this, or you've got a slow drain or are experiencing occasional backups, chances are good you need to hear this.
Robinson's Plumbing Service, may I help you?
Now's the time to have Robinson's Plumbing fully clean your drain system. They'll give your drain a complete camera inspection. If there's any clogging, grease, or debris, they have powerful jutters that'll blast those clogs into oblivion. You don't need any additional pressure when it comes to hosting the family gathering. Let Robinson's Plumbing clean those drains so you don't have to do this. Giving you more time to do this. Robinson's Plumbing has been voted the Richmond area's best plumbers. Best in service, best in quality, on time, and always priced right. Schedule your drain inspection now at RobinsonsPlumbingService.com. That's RobinsonsPlumbingService.com.
Illuminate Light Show, Virginia's largest, longest-running, and most affordable drive-through light and music show, is back and bigger than ever. We're talking 3 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some of your favorite Christmas tunes. Cap off the evening inside Santa's Village for food, fun, and shopping, and of course, pictures with Santa himself. Illuminate Light Show, 5:30 p.m. nightly at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell. More info at illuminatelightshow.com. Family owned and operated for over 12 years.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Hey
Hey, it's Kirk Herbstreit. On game day, great prep makes all the difference. Same goes for your pizza. That's why I go with Frigidaire Stone-Baked Pizza Oven. Fresh pizzas go from dough to done in just 2 minutes.
Whether you're throwing a party or squeezing in dinner between plays, this oven delivers hot, crispy, restaurant-quality pizza right from your kitchen. Only from Frigidaire. Game-ready pizza. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
1061 ESPN traffic.
There's been an accident heading south on 295 just before Brook Road, causing slow-moving traffic from Staples Mill Road. Some delays heading west on 64 between Mechanicsville Turnpike and 95. And expect bumper-to-bumper traffic heading west on Cary Street Road between Hillcrest Avenue and 3 Chopped.
Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 1061 ESPN. Your daily 3 to 4 p.m. pit stop for unfiltered sports takes, statewide debate, and no-holds-barred analysis. Richmond's game, Matt's Lane. Don't miss it.
It's a beautiful morning.
All right, I've got a hot take for you. I was driving back from Charlotte last night. I was doing the South Atlantic Conference tournament, right? Some fantastic soccer action, Division II soccer action, and I had to get dinner. And I ended up choosing Zaxby's. Eve and I had the conversation of who's the best chicken place. I said Zaxby's is my number one over Cane's, over everyone. She says Popeyes is her number one. Is Zaxby's the best?
Yeah, well, I mean, Popeyes is a legitimate chicken place. Zaxby's only serves
chicken strips. Same with Cane's.
Pretty much, yeah. But if we're talking, if we can specify it in the strips, I prefer Zaxby's over Raising Cane's.
Zaxby sauce too. Got that
Not
little...
that I wouldn't do business with Raising Cane's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I should say that. Cane's is still delicious. The Caniac, I always get it when I drive by. I mean, you smell it from a mile away. But man, living in Charlotte for a couple years, we didn't have Cane's down in Charlotte. We had Zaxby's, so you just kind of get accustomed to it. So when I go back down to Charlotte, I was like, time for some Zaxby's.
The sleeper on the strips is actually Bojangles.
Yeah,
Bojangles.
Bojangles.
That's why they're $20.
Bojangles a sleeper all around.
Yeah,
I forget Bojangles exists, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a Bowberry biscuit.
That's why those things are $20, man.
Yeah, I mean, chicken prices are insane nowadays. Chicken prices are out of control. So, speaking of out of control, we had a wild day in the NFL, and it got started with the first week, the first game in Madrid, Spain. It was a 16-13 win for the Dolphins, and it was an overtime game in which Marcus Mariota threw an interception on the very first play of overtime. Jack Jones intercepted it, and it set up a Dolphins game-winning field goal to really just twist the knife a little bit more on the Washington Commanders season. Before we dive into that, I want to go out to the phone lines as we've got Bruce on line one. Good morning, Bruce. How are we doing?
Good morning, Fitz. Good morning, Alan. Straight off the rip, bruh. Straight off the top. Alan, cue up Vince Lombardi. What in the world we got going on out here? In the world of Sam Bam Cunningham in 1970, before you could go into Alabama, what happened Saturday at Texas A&M? I mean, what in the world we got going on where we got athletes running to the tunnel and we got police officers?
That's the emotions and rivalry of college football. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, he was out of character, but like
that was insane.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, and again, uncalled for. But I have been in SEC country, and I tell this story every time. We drove to Fayetteville, Arkansas for Texas versus Arkansas, and we were checking into our motel because they don't have hotels there. And there was like a 5-6-year-old sitting on the outside, like waiting on his parents or something. My friend, who is a Texas fan, walked up to him and was like, "Hey, man, are your parents around? Like, you look lost." And the kid looked at him, saw he had on Texas gear, gave him double birds and said, "Horns down, explicit." I can't say what he said. And his parents came rushing out and they high-fived him for doing that. That is the epitome of SEC like rivalry and just the emotions that go behind it sometimes. So I wasn't totally shocked by the whole interaction between South Carolina player and Texas A&M, I guess security or police.
Bruce, you still there? Yeah, I mean, honestly, what was crazier, though, the Texas State Trooper doing that or South Carolina blowing the lead? I mean, both of those things absolutely insane. But that was so out of line by the Texas State Trooper. Welcome back in, Bruce.
Yeah, I couldn't. I get the second half of the game. I get it. I mean, I think A&M, I was shocked at halftime when it was 30-3. But I think if you're watching that, if you were viewing that game live,
yeah,
and you saw this happen,
yes.
My question was, did the player go into the tunnel and say something, do something that caused the state trooper to come behind him? And I'm not even talking about the fan who knocked. I get the fandom who knocked the ball out of his hand after he goes into the end zone, with the pull hammy. But I mean, what was the catalyst to cause the trooper to do what the trooper did? And I know people are going to say we just don't know, but what caused? I mean, go back to Alabama. I just don't know.
I mean, even if there was something that quote unquote caused it, Bruce, I mean, you're a Texas State Trooper. You're a state trooper. You shouldn't have that type of reaction towards a football player who is participating in the game that you are working security in. So I'm glad A&M relieved him of his duties and sent him home. I hope that maybe something a little bit, I mean, it's just no matter what was said or not said or what was done, I mean, whatever it is, it's just crazy that the state trooper then had that type of reaction to a collegiate athlete.
It is, the concern. We're in front of 108,500 people. It's the ABC kickoff game at 12 noon. The concern of a parent whose child has had an interaction with this state trooper is we can't even put on a scale. I hate to forecast because I could be dead wrong. I could be totally offline here. But I hate to forecast that if we hear talk of this trooper's duty, maybe he got caught up in the fact that they were losing against South Carolina. I mean, I don't know what rationale can even be presented, but you're in front of 108,000 people in the stand, and you're the ABC 12 noon kickoff game. Man, shut the front door and don't leave it open for nobody.
Yeah, it could just be the emotions got the best of him. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad they relieved him of the duties, sent home, and I hope we get some sort of statement. I doubt we will, but maybe some sort of statement from the state troopers or from Texas A&M itself kind of explaining what happened, but we haven't gotten one yet. I doubt we'll get one. And Bruce, before you go, I do want to know, Shane Beamer, do you still want him in Virginia Tech?
Well, I would think, I'm going to tell you guys, that's a great question. I think that's a great question.
Very good political answer here.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't want to do that, Alan.
I can tell.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. I just think that's a great question.
But Bruce, the people want to know, can you answer it, yes or no? Do you want Shane Beamer still?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
60% confidence on that answer.
And that was a good question, though. Bruce, I appreciate you calling and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, guys.
There goes Bruce.
Look, nothing wrong with Bruce, man. Bruce, just to let you know, my friend is a diehard Hokie fan. And I'm telling you, for the entire second half, the room was looking at him quietly. We didn't say a word. We just looked at him. At the very end, at the very, very end, his son came in, and his son's hilarious, and he was like, I don't think I want Shane Beamer as my coach anymore. It was the best way to break the silence.
Yeah, I think that game may have ended the tenure for Shane Beamer in Columbia, South Carolina, and ended his tenure in Blacksburg before it even started as well.
That was, and I know we were trying to talk NFL, but college football definitely stood its ground on Saturday.
I was in a bar in Charlotte, and Charlotte pretty close to Columbia, South Carolina, right? We're all hanging out. South Carolina fans going berserk.
I can imagine.
Oh my goodness, we're back. I can't believe we're doing upset, baby, on the road. And then we left at halftime, and my friends and I watched it back at home, and we were just kind of thinking about the people at the bar and how sad they must have been watching that comeback.
My homeboy's a donor, so he was there. The range of emotion of his text messages, man. At halftime, he just went completely silent, so we just left him alone because I was like, he's annoyed. Because again, we have the split faction in my text group, so the Longhorn fans are giving him crap early in the day, and they're waiting to play at night. So there's a whole lot of back and forth. But man, like just the frantic, you could tell all caps texting he was doing. I don't even think it was like you could read it. But he was trying his best to get out some kind of celebratory phrase. It was crazy. And Elko just said simply, we just need to play better. At the half. That was his halftime pep. He was like, we just need to play better.
Well, I mean, he wasn't wrong because, like, it was a 30-3 advantage for South Carolina, but you kind of break down how it happened, and you're like, well, it was a little fluky how we got here. It was a couple of bad picks, like kind of back to back to back. All of a sudden, they're up 30-3, and you're like, oh, crap. You know, like, oh, a couple of bad plays here and there. We've got to bounce back somehow. And they did by just playing better, and the defense shut down South Carolina. Lenoris Sellers, his second half was not that great, and it kind of capped off with that fourth down conversion attempt that he didn't even give a chance for a receiver.
Man, that was...
Well, did you see the replay of it? They only put two receivers down the field in formation.
Okay, I was going to say, I didn't see the replay. I'm assuming they went max protect because he was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, they went max protect, but still.
Yeah, no,
I mean, like,
give them options.
Even then, man, just throw it up. Like, yeah. Oh, that was a tough look for
I was
Lenoir
watching
Sellers.
Pittsburgh versus Notre Dame and could sense the blowout there. So I switched. We just got a text her as a UVA fan. Yes, I want Beamer's Virginia Tech's coach.
You're right, UVA fan. Yes, you want Shane Beamer. Although News or Snooze is coming up here in a second. It may be another big name coach finding their way to Blacksburg. But goodness gracious, I've never seen a coach end his tenure in two different ways.
I borderline feel bad for the guy.
I do too.
There was such high expectations for South Carolina this year. It's hard to say what went wrong, but that was like you're up 30 to what was it 30-3 or something like that?
30-3.
Yeah, you got to win that. Even if they roar back, you still have to finish that. But it is what it is. You know, the Aggies continue to roll. I know they've been playing behind. They've been having a lot of these kind of comebacks, these special wins. That stuff runs out on you after a while, man.
The magic runs out in the postseason. When the weather gets a little chillier, the magic runs out. But hey, they're riding it hopefully to a bye week in the college football playoff, and 7-0, the lone undefeated team in the SEC. So that's going to be very intriguing to see how it plays out. We got a text in. I'll answer it later on because it's about the Seahawks, and I've got to get some stuff off my chest with them because how's my expectations for the Seahawks changed? Did Darnold turn into a pumpkin, and are they just last year's Vikings? I'll dive into that because I was thinking that all day yesterday. I was watching the Seahawks game, and I was like, uh-oh. So that's coming up. Appreciate the texter.
Don't worry, texter. I'm here to keep him honest.
No, I might be a little too honest because I've got some rumblies in my tumblies when it comes to how the Seahawks are performing. So we'll get a quick break in. We've got News or Snooze coming up on the other side.
Henrico Sports and Event Center features over 115,000 square feet of flexible event space, a 3,500-seat arena, and state-of-the-art amenities including concessions, meeting rooms, and broadcast facilities, making it one of the region's premier sports facilities, built for champions, and host to major tournaments, graduations, concerts, and community events. To learn how you can reserve space for your next event or to check out the calendar of activities, visit henricosca.com.
Bonaire Shell is family-owned and operated and has been serving the Richmond community for over 20 years. At Bonaire Shell, you'll find old-school service with modern-day technology, and our certified technicians will get you back on the road in no time. Stop by for a quick fill-up, shop for new tires, ask us about a check engine light, or let us help with any of your auto service needs. Find us at 8762 Huguenot Road near the historic Bon Air section of Southside and online at bonairshell.com.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice greens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at queenfieldgolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best kept secret.
Celebrate the Richmond region's most inspirational sports stories at the RVA Sports Awards, Saturday, January 31st at the Altria Theater. Reserve your tickets now at visitrichmondva.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
It's currently 42 degrees and sunny with a high today of 56 and a low of 37. We're expecting clear and sunny skies to continue throughout the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. Coming in from the northwest, a 6-mile-per-hour breeze with gusts up to 15 miles per hour. And taking a look at tomorrow, similar temperatures with a high of 57 and a low of 35 with about a 50% chance of rain.
Statewide sports, straight talk, and no fluff. Border to border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily dose of hard-hitting Virginia sports debate. Don't miss it. News.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Or snooze.
All right, news or snooze? What we got today? A mixed bag again. All right.
I try to keep it fresh.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what your opinions are on this one. Let's see. Source concern: Rodgers has break in left wrist.
It's snoozeworthy.
That can't be snoozeworthy.
No, it 100% is.
Why is
because
it?
he's been below average since the bye week for the Steelers.
Yeah, but I don't.
Mason Rudolph played a better game when he came in relief. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that much better than Mason Rudolph. And I think hope is gone for Pittsburgh. They're not winning the division. The Ravens have a 77% chance to win the division according to the Athletics playoff say that 10 times fast. The playoff probability predictor.
The Ravens?
The Ravens. So I just don't think it's that big of a break, no pun intended, for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers.
I think it has to be newsworthy just because the momentum that the Steelers had or was trying to recapture with them coming into these division games and the stretch down the season. This is, air quote, why they signed Aaron Rodgers. So
it is also in his non-throwing wrist, so just put a wrap on it.
Well, that's true, too.
I know it's not as simple as that, but, like, maybe he's out for a week or two, and then they bring him back with a wrist. He's undergoing further tests today to figure out the severity of it, if it actually is a break, but they're worried that it is a broken left wrist, a small break, a small fracture. But since the bye week, since week 6, Aaron Rodgers is 24th in the NFL in adjusted EPA per play. He's 27th in the NFL in success rate. Only 44.4% of his dropbacks result in a successful play. And he has the 6th lowest ADOT at 6.7 yards. And that was on display yesterday as Kenneth Gainwell was their leading receiver with 7 receptions for 81 yards. Granted, he did have 2 touchdowns and a 34-12 win for the Steelers over the Bengals. But with that, one was from Mason Rudolph, one was from Aaron Rodgers. I just don't think this is a huge news one way or another when it regards to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So
maybe I'm just a hater.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're just a hater, but they've been scoring, regardless of what the stats say, they have been able to put points up with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Outside of that game against the Chargers where it was 25-10.
Yeah.
And they've got a stretch where they're going to need that offense because they've got the Bills, the Bears, the Ravens twice, and the Lions. They're going to need to put points up. They can't depend on this defense to hold these guys under 24, honestly.
And don't look now, but Chicago's the number one team in the NFC North.
Yeah, that's
no
only
tie, nothing.
That's only because the Packers are goofy and the Lions had a tougher stretch of games.
Freaking Packers.
Yeah, they won't. I don't think they'll beat the Lions head to head to take it. I think it's just benefiting with
just how it all has broken up to this point.
I mean, Lions had the Eagles and the Bears had the Vikings.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
All right, number 2, Browns Shedeur Sanders debuts after Dylan Gabriel concussion.
What do you think this one is?
I think it's newsworthy.
Okay. I'll let you. We'll go newsworthy on
and
it.
It's only newsworthy because, again, I'm trying not to be. He's a polarizing figure in sports debates now, right? A lot of it's off base. The one thing I can say, and I think professionals have said this, Shannon Sharp has said it, and everybody who's ever played football from high school up can tell you that a backup quarterback gets reps with the first team some kind of way. The fact that this young man didn't get his first reps with the first team until yesterday
in game,
and the coach openly admits that and doesn't really see a problem in that.
Yeah.
I like Stefanski. I think Stefanski did one of the most amazing jobs the year that he had to rotate like 6 quarterbacks. And they still made the playoffs. Yeah, it was incredible. Everything, like I'm a big actions speak louder than words person. Everything that Stefanski is doing, everything that the Browns organization is allowing him to do makes me question, why did they draft this young man?
Yeah, why they draft
You don't like the kid.
No.
Clearly you don't like the kid. It is negligent. It is dangerous to put a rookie into a game with guys you've never had reps with as weapons and then expect anything other than a disaster. And I thought, all things considered, he did okay yesterday. But, like, regardless of who he is, last name or not, it could be the roles reversed. Shedeur Sanders could have had the concussion, and Dylan Gabriel could be coming in. If he's your QB2 and you expect him to touch the field at some point, he has to get some reps with one. During the week, regardless, and I know some people online are saying, well, is that maybe some teams do that. I've been in training camps with the Panthers. I've been in training camps with the Ravens. I've been in training camps with the Commanders, and we've seen joint practices. And I've never seen any practice where a backup doesn't get some reps.
There's always the potential that your backup's going to come in a meaningful game, and this was a meaningful game where the Browns were down just one possession. So if there had been some sort of familiarity with your first team when Shedeur stepped in, they had a lead, and then the Ravens were able to build it back up, and Shedeur didn't have the ability to mount the comeback. And I don't think it's because of a lack of ability. I think it's a lack of familiarity with who he's working with. He even had a post-game quote that was something along the lines of, like, I've never really thrown to Jerry Jeudy in games.
Which is insane.
Or he's never thrown to Jerry Jeudy because his preseason snaps were not even with the first team. And he's like, I just kind of got to work on that during the week. But then Stefanski went on to say, if Gabriel clears concussion protocol, he'll be the QB1 for next week and he'll start. And it's like, okay, so does that mean he's going to, like, how are you going to address this week of practice now with Dylan Gabriel going through concussion protocol? What are you going to do? Like, it's just all so interesting. And he played bad. Yeah. He was 4 of 16, 47 yards, interception. He was sacked twice, had 3 carries for 16 yards. And it just was a lackluster performance. But I think that's partially Shedeur Sanders' ability. And I think it's also partially the fact that Stefanski never gave him first team reps, even just one drive in practice.
Well, we've seen high-tier elites and even high-tier prospects, when they don't have chemistry with their weapons, there's a drastic drop in production for them.
And why do you think the Pro Bowl stinks? It's because they don't have familiarity with their weapons.
Yeah, so it's important. And it's not even about him necessarily being better than Dylan Gabriel. It's about setting him up for success and actually setting your team up for success. Like, you're in a position to win a big game.
Yeah.
and you don't win the big game because you didn't get reps for your quarterback to play with the ones. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and on the flip side, the Baltimore Ravens. I just combined Baltimore Ravens and Browns all into one word.
They used to be the same thing.
Yeah, they did. Throwback. Ravens get their win, 4th straight. Now they're 5-5, and they've got all the momentum heading into a very important stretch here down the back half of the season, where they've got the Steelers twice, the Bengals twice. Should be a real opportunity for the Ravens to steal the AFC North. They've got a 77% chance to do it.
I'll save it for Overreaction Monday. I gotta take. I semi-predicted a couple weeks ago. This is taking form, man. The AFC is going to be a hot mess.
Yeah, it is. Chiefs may not be involved in it either.
And I think the cream rises to the top. You hope the Chiefs ain't involved in it.
Because the cream rises to the top. You're right.
Yeah.
What's next?
Number 3, sources. Virginia Tech in early talks with Franklin. This is for real this time.
This is from Pete Thamel, and this is newsworthy.
He
reported on this on game day. And the fact that it's being reported in and of itself, I think, is newsworthy. Former Penn State coach James Franklin, Virginia Tech. This is, according to Pete Thamel, early stages of talk, some resolution on his candidacy expected in the coming days, whatever that means.
He's the best option for Virginia Tech, man.
I saw someone on Twitter post, translation, Virginia Tech wants Franklin. James Franklin does not want Virginia Tech.
I don't
think it's that deep, but I think it is where maybe Franklin might be keeping some options open. But from what I've heard too, and I think you've heard, and this report, Virginia Tech going after Franklin pretty hard, and seeing it now kind of be materialized in a report on College Game Day. Worth noting.
The biggest threat to them getting Franklin would be Arkansas, I think.
You think Arkansas would be the biggest threat?
My friends and I talked about it, and I did say I don't think Arkansas. I don't think he's ready for the SEC in the sense of like if he has these kind of letdowns that he had at Penn State.
I got a stat for you. We all talk about his 4-21 record, right?
Yeah.
He was 1-18 against top 10 Big Ten teams in conference games.
Yeah, which would be really bad in the SEC. But I pointed to the fact we know how much money they have at Arkansas. We know the donors, the Waltons, the Tyson folks, Jerry Jones. I think there's a couple other people I'm missing too. They went out to Calipari. He wasn't necessarily known for winning the big games either, right? Like we make fun of him all the time, but he was a big name, and it was a name that people would recognize, and they knew that would get them kind of a jolt to their program because they were kind of lacking in that aspect. And then in their mind, we spend enough, we got the name, the wins will come. They could take that similar approach. I think Franklin, not necessarily as like Calipari wasn't that bad against top 25 and top 10 teams, but kind of the same mystique. Like he can win enough. He just can't win it all for you.
He at least had a national championship under his belt.
Yeah. So football's a little bit harder, I think.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, especially when it was a 4-team playoff and everything
he
like that.
He can't get 22 NFL caliber guys. He could get like
2 NBA top 3
guys
picks.
like was it Devin
Booker to come off the bench?
Off the bench. Exactly.
And you got Anthony Davis, just dominating. James Franklin right now has a 160 win percentage against top 10 teams. It's tied for the 3rd worst record by a coach at a single school.
It's all bad.
Since 1936. But I'm not saying that as like a way to be like, Virginia Tech, don't hire him, because I do think it would be a very good hire by the Hokies. And I think he would have a lot of success in Blacksburg.
He'll be gone in 3 years.
And the ACC is much different than the Big Ten. So if you can tie him down, go out there and get him. Like go out there and bring him in, because he'll help stabilize your program, do kind of similar things to how, and I'm not saying Virginia Tech is Vanderbilt, but Franklin had success at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And Clark Lee's now the next person to have success at Vanderbilt. It's hard to do. So he can have success at Virginia Tech, especially if you have the buy-in that everyone's talking about, the philanthropic donations, everything like that. If Franklin comes, he will win. And in the first 3 years, because you might only have him for 3 years, in the first 3 years he's there, I would say he's going to win an ACC championship.
I think he could do it within 3 years. Given his track record, and like I said, he'll turn it around probably in 2, and then that 3rd year where you'll see reap the rewards there.
You just got to hope he knows how to recruit a quarterback because he could not do that to save his life at Penn State.
They'll have a good defense.
Yeah, he will. And as long as he doesn't bring in a Drew Aller type, I think he's good.
There's a lot of good athletes here in the state. He could pick a decent quarterback.
Come to the 804. There's a couple decent quarterbacks.
Not even trying to cape. I'm just being honest. There's a lot of talent.
I mean,
within the
across it
state.
all.
Yeah,
the 757, the 704.
And he's aware of that too. Actually, if you think about it, recruiting wise, I don't think it changes much for him. Same demographic.
Yeah, and he was already dipping into Virginia quite a lot, so he has a lot. I mean, it makes the most sense. It makes the most sense. So that one is very newsworthy. All right, let's get to a break here. We'll step aside. We'll be back, talk some NFL, and get some Seahawks opinions off of my chest. It was a Sam Darnold meltdown in a big game, something we've gotten so used to here over the last 2 seasons of the Sam Darnold experience.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
You don't have to be just a number when it comes to your health care. The average doctor cares for 4,000 patients per year, while a Welcome MD doctor like Dr. Richard Peoples sees less than 400 patients per year. This means you get better personalized health care specific to your needs. Aren't you worth it? Make an appointment today with Dr. Peoples at 804-774-7099 or visit welcomemd.com. Mention this ad for a special discount. Welcome MD.
Get the latest update on Henrico County sports tournaments, happenings, and future events on ESPN Richmond's newest segment, the Henrico Huddle. Join Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer as he joins Bob Black on the Sports Huddle. For more information on Henrico Sports and Event Center calendar, visit online at henricosea.com or tune in to the last Wednesday of each month for the Henrico Huddle on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Hey guys, it's Anna from Incredible Cleaning Services. First, I would like to say thank you to the Tri-Cities. Incredible Cleaning Service was nominated finalist in the Best of the Best. We're proud to keep your homes, businesses, and communities sparkling clean. Because around here, Incredible isn't just our name, it's our standard. With the holidays right around the corner, I encourage you to do that fall deep cleaning. Let Incredible Cleaning Service help you get your home ready for the holidays so you can enjoy what truly matters. Visit IncredibleCleaningservice.com.
Hi, this is Kurt with Classic Party Rentals of Virginia. As 2025 comes to a close, we're looking back on all the moments that brought our community together. The weddings, corporate events, festivals, and family celebrations that became lasting memories. Thank you to our amazing clients, partners, and team for trusting us to help make those memories possible. Here's to another year of shared laughter, new beginnings, and unforgettable celebrations. From all of us at Classic Party Rentals of Virginia, thank you for celebrating with us.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Roll down the windows and crank up the Sports Huddle. Join the voice of the Richmond Spiders, Bob Black, every weekday. From stats to strategy, he's your rush hour MVP. Drive time just became prime time.
All right, this was uncalled for.
What did I do?
It's the same old song.
It's the same old song. It's a good song, good track. What you mean?
So we've got to talk some Commanders, but before we do, got to address the text. Has your expectations changed for the Seahawks? Did Darnold turn into a pumpkin, and are they last year's Vikings? So here's the thing about Sam Darnold.
He's always been a pumpkin.
Yeah, he was in games that didn't matter this season, he was dominant. And this was the first game, I'll say this, second game of the season that mattered. Like, and I'm not trying to say, oh, the rest of the games don't matter. Like, eyes on you, start of this, like, if you win this, you're really cooking with gas. And the first game of the season, I would say, was one that truly, truly mattered. Your season opener, new era, new team against San Francisco, a divisional opponent, and he throws for 150 yards. Not that great. He had a 70% completion percentage and just kind of looked underwhelming. The entire team did. He had a fumble, so a turnover in that one as well. Then the next most important game was what happened yesterday. It was a 21-19 win for the Los Angeles Rams against the Seahawks. He went 29 of 44, 279, but that doesn't matter because he threw 4 interceptions. He threw 4 picks, and over the last 4 games, Sam Darnold has thrown 7 interceptions, and dating back to the start of last year, he leads the NFL with 30 turnovers, 3 more than the next quarterback, who's Geno Smith. Granted, Geno plays tonight, so unless Geno throws 4 picks, Sam Darnold will be leading the league in turnovers over the last 2 seasons, and it feels like I let myself buy into the Sam Darnold hype. I let myself as a Seahawks fan buy into the fact that and I still think Seattle's part of the upper tier in the NFC, but I think they're at the bottom edge of that upper tier, teetering to falling below, because I think in that game, the Rams defense really threw a wrench in what Seattle was doing. The Rams did not allow a touchdown for the first 57 minutes of the game or something like that, which is utterly insane. Seattle had to settle for field goal after field goal after field goal. Then they ended up missing the 61-yarder that would have given them the win. Jason Myers didn't even have enough leg. That was crazy. But I think he is a pumpkin, and I think he has always been a pumpkin. And the expectations for the Seattle Seahawks, still pretty much the same. I expect them to be a playoff team, probably win the NFC wildcard game that they're in, and then will likely get bounced in a divisional round in a game where Sam Darnold fails. Like, Sam Darnold might throw a couple more interceptions, because even looking back to where he was last year, his last 2 games of the season, in the 2 most important games of the year, as a Viking, it was that Green Bay Packers. What game was it? It was the Detroit Lions. It was the Detroit Lions game in the regular season finale where he threw for 166 yards, and then he backed that up with an interception and a fumble lost in the wild card game, which was a 27-9 defeat against the Rams. In the biggest games of his career, Sam Darnold has struggled, especially in this quote-unquote resurgence that he's had over the last 2 years. Real bummer. Real bummer.
I think, again, the blueprint's out there to disrupt him. You need a guy like Jared Verse and that kind of disruption. I think the Rams did a great job of trying to force Dalton to find somebody other than JSN. It's been too easy to find JSN.
But when he did you see that catch from JSN?
Yeah, obviously when because he's a special player. But geez, man, if your first read is he's only got one guy around him, or man, that's a lot of space I could throw into, then it's too easy to get him the ball. And even with all that being said, collectively the team still played really well. It's just, when it came time to make the big plays, Matthew Stafford could get it done, and Darnold couldn't get it done. But
yeah.
I wouldn't.
There's levels to it.
Yeah, I think with Darnold, Geno, even Baker Mayfield, there's always going to be moments where they're going to look like what we thought they were, which is absolutely worthless at times. Baker Mayfield hasn't had those moments yet, per se, but there's a level which they can't go past as quarterbacks, despite them being reworked or refurbished.
Or they may get it back, but we've seen the bad for so long where even if they, let's say Sam Darnold being good is now his level.
Yeah.
Even when he has a bad game, it makes everyone snap back into the fact they're like, oh, is this a pumpkin? And then you start questioning it, and then you start finding all the flaws in his game.
Daniel Jones is going through the same thing. He had a stretch where he had a couple interceptions.
And everyone's like, and a couple fumbles, like that Steeler. And we're like, oh, he's back to being him. And on the grand scheme of things, from a 10,000-foot view, it was a bad game for a quarterback that has shown over now 2 seasons that he is an above-average QB. I put him into the bucket of this is a quarterback you can win with It's not a quarterback you can win because of. He's not in the Josh Allen. He's not in the Patrick Mahomes tier. But he is a quarterback you can win a Super Bowl with as your starter. But the Rams are also just a very good football team. I would argue the best team in the NFC. And the Rams defensive coordinator, what is his name? Mike Shula. He's one of the best defensive coordinators going right now. Him and Mike McDonald are two of the best defensive coordinators. It was a great game. But the Rams said, you know what? We're not going to let you go to JSN, who he still got the ball to 9 times for 105 yards. A.J. Barner, the tight end, who barely gets used outside of the red zone, finished with 10 targets for 10 receptions, for 70 yards. Like, the Rams said, all right, we're taking everything over the top. We're not giving you anything over the middle. You just got to keep dumping it to A.J. Barner, your outlet. And it allowed the Seahawks to kind of move down the field methodically. But every time the field shrunk and they got in the red zone, the Rams held true, and the Rams ended up forcing him to kick a field goal. So are my expectations changed? No. But it was a bit of a disappointing loss where they had a chance, maybe if he doesn't turn it over 4 times. But in a weird fan brain, he turned the ball over 4 times, and Seattle just lost by 2.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't think that collectively the team didn't play bad. He just was off.
He was slightly off. Like he still made the plays like on the drive to try and set up the game-winning field goal. He made the right plays. The drive before that, he scored a touchdown. He helped score a touchdown. So
you lost by a missed field goal. Like, because at the end of the day, you were still in a position to win that game despite all of that.
So I think Seattle's still a very good football team.
How do you miss a kick that wide in a dome? I don't understand, man.
How is it not long enough? Like it was a 61-yard field goal for Jason Myers, and he left it short by about 2 yards.
And everybody's kicking at least 70. They just can't be accurate.
But the thing, do you know why they're doing that? The change in the K-balls?
Yeah, I heard about
Where now, like, they used to only get the K-balls day of the game, and the K-balls they have special balls for kicking. Now they get it a full, like, they get the season's worth of K-balls preseason. So all of these kickers have had time to kind of break them in, mold them, and get them right. And it's resulted in longer field goals.
Can I sound the alarm real quick, too?
Yeah.
Check out the Rams, and then keep in mind, they've got the Falcons pick next year in the draft.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. As an NFC West fan.
Yes, we're both going through it. In that sense.
Stupid Falcons, man.
A top 10 pick for the Falcons to be worse than they were last year. Congratulations.
But, hey, good thing they got 2 edge rushers and 2 quarterbacks.
No, they only got like half a quarterback.
They got half a quarterback now. They got 1 good Achilles out of the 4 they've got between Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix. All right, stay with us. Coming up, hour number 2, more NFL talk. Commanders, Dolphins, they squared off in Spain. We'll talk about it.
Bob Black's here to get you through the wait, whether it's hoops, gridiron, or on the diamond. 4 to 6 p.m. never sounded this smooth. Let's ride home with the voice of the Richmond Spiders.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice greens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at queenfieldgolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best-kept secret.
Nothing Bun Cakes is all about bringing joy. We're your one-stop shop for all occasions and holiday celebrations. Stop by any one of our 5 Nothing Bun Cakes bakeries in the Richmond area or visit online at nothingbbuncakes.com.
The Bentelli Holiday Sales Event is on now through December 24th. Great selection of LSVs and special finance rates are available. Cruise your neighborhood in style with a street-legal low-speed vehicle from Richmond LSV. Richmond LSV is a proud supporter of holiday cheer and gear on December 4th at Henrico Sports and Events Center. Contact us at richmondlsv.com or text 363-4351. Fun, fully charged.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for. He is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
Accidents with 18-wheelers, delivery trucks, and construction vehicles are complicated. They may try to blame you, but when we investigate, we often find the truth. Reckless driving, speeding, safety violations. At Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, we fight to hold them accountable and get you paid for your injuries or the loss of a loved one. Call 877-222-6666 or visit Shannara.com. Shannara Trial Attorneys. We go deeper, we fight harder, we win bigger.
This is advertising material.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
That's not far.
What are we gonna do? Hike?
Sure.
Are we there yet?
Yep, it's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org, brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside. We're streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Appreciate you being part of the show over there. If you want to watch the show, type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch the stream live. You can also comment, like, and subscribe on the stream so you be part of it over there. And you can call or text in 804-327-0888 as we are moving right along into hour number 2, and we saw a ton of action across the NFL world. We talked at length about the Seattle Seahawks falling by 2 points, the Los Angeles Rams, and what was an NFC, not just NFC West clash, but an NFC clash of heavyweights that saw the Rams kind of get the leg up and kind of cement themselves as the top tier of the top tier. The game started with the Dolphins taking on the Commanders in Spain. And I'll say the one positive coming out of this game, Alan, was the fact that the defense looked a lot more put together. They held the Dolphins to just 13 points in regulation. The 16th point came in overtime off of a field goal. They were able to capitalize off of a Marcus Mariota interception to begin the overtime period. But the positive coming out of this is the defense looks better now with Dan Quinn calling the plays.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, there was only one way to go.
Yeah, I know. Look, it's again, I text Lake yesterday. It's amazing what happens when you put guys in position. I know it's not a victory for the Commander fans, obviously, because at the end of the day, they still lost the game. But it goes back to something we've been saying for the last 3-4 weeks. What if this had been earlier, man? What if? What if?
And what if they can just figure out how to stop fast running backs? Because that's still an issue.
I mean,
Devon Achane had 120
even with
yards.
Achane getting off like he did, look at the passing numbers the second day. They contain Waddle.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have...
Tua only had 171.
Yeah, and you don't have the personnel to stop everybody. Anybody that's got 4.3 speed is going to give this defense problems. What I liked was that they closed the windows. They closed the space for guys like Waddle to operate in. So when he did catch the ball, he had the 131-yard catch. But outside of that, for the most part, when he caught the ball, there was bodies around him. People were in position. There wasn't confusion on defense. They had multiple goal line stands. We haven't seen that all year.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing that if I was a fan would make me mad, because I'm like, we could have had this.
Could have had this for all
from
season.
the jump, man.
Yeah.
Witt wasn't putting these guys in position to be successful. So what was taking so long for the adjustment?
Why did they not? Yeah.
Missing Payne and a couple other guys, and still able, like I said, to contain the playmakers of the Dolphins. Regardless of what you think about the Dolphins, the makeup of this offense is one that should and could have given the Commanders absolute fits, and it just wasn't there. I expected to see a million shallow crosses and a lot of Waddle big plays, but it just wasn't there. They gave themselves a chance to win despite having the backup quarterback.
They had literally the ball first in overtime. You should win that game.
You really shouldn't win in overtime, but I'll break that
But
down more on.
I digress. Yeah,
I'll break that down more on Raising Hell on Thursday. But yeah, that again,
you had the ball.
I don't want to say tank, but at this point, there's really no reason to try to win games.
It's kind of hilarious, too, how last year's Bears game was the unraveling of the Bears team coming off of that Hail Mary. I forget what the Miracle in Landover is what they called that.
Beltway Miracle or something like that.
Either way, that play ended the season for the Chicago Bears for all intents and purposes. The Chicago Bears game this year, the Commanders lost by 1 point. And then since then, they have rattled off 5 more losses. They've now lost 6 straight, and they have looked hapless at times. They look good in that Miami game, kind of defensively, but it's a lost season.
I got one better for you. Last year, it was, I'm so glad we didn't draft Caleb Williams. And this year, it's like,
why didn't we draft Drake May?
This year, it's people questioning Daniels to some extent. Fans are crazy, man.
Fans are fickle.
Yeah, they are. I don't know if I would bring Jaden back in. Like I said, I don't want to say tank, but honestly, like
they'll bring him back in just because I think you can't keep him out.
If you're the Commanders, you can save your draft next year by having a top 10 pick and trading down a couple spots. Not even a ton. You don't have to do a ton. You can still keep a first round. The Falcons showed you that. There's always an idiot looking to overspend to get back into the first round. Yeah. If you've got a top 10 pick next year, you could bolster your draft and get some of that capital that you lost on the Tunsil trade and the Debo trade, which again, I think have been fine.
Yeah.
You can get some of that back. You can position yourself to make adjustments, and you have to, and I mean you have to have your first pick be whoever the best edge rusher or defensive playmaker in the draft is. It doesn't, and I say best defensive playmaker because I'm looking at guys like Kyle Hamilton. He was not the highest rated player, I think, as far as where he was drafted, but he was the best playmaker in that draft on the defensive side, and he has been absolutely game changing for the Ravens.
Their first couple of picks in the next year's draft should be defense.
Yeah, because I mean that's the one thing they haven't addressed. And I know people are like, I don't trust Adam Peters. I don't know about Adam Peters. It's clear as day that the plan was to build and protect Jaden Daniels. Once they found out, oh, wow, we got a franchise quarterback, let's make sure we go all in on our franchise quarterback, right? And then we'll fix the defense some kind of way. I think the market got away from them a little bit on edge rushers, but it was a gamble, and it didn't pay off for them.
No, and now they're living with the consequences, and you're right, it's a lost season. Hopefully you can get something out of it and move forward because there's no bouncing back. Like the season is completely lost, and maybe they can find some sort of rhythm defensively heading into the offseason, but I imagine they'll make a change at defensive coordinator in the offseason.
Well, the change has been made.
Well, yeah.
Dan, just stay. Just keep it. Wick can coach the secondary like he did in Dallas. It's fine.
Yeah,
if he wants to stay and do that.
Other games around the league.
Real quick though, can I make a PSA?
Please.
We can't fire coaches within 2 years, unless
calling for Quinn's job.
Oh man, all the time. People call him for coaches in general all the time. You got to give guys. I call it a cycle, right? You got to give them at least 4 years to turn something around. Now, if they've inherited, like if you inherit Patrick Mahomes and that team, you don't get 4 years.
Yeah.
But if you take a
inherit the Commanders,
there was a top 3 pick. You got to get at least 4 years to cycle through a lot of the guys who are not good, and to get your guys that you drafted into a position where they will be game changers.
And year one, you made it to the NFC Championship game. And I think that's the other part that makes it really hard to kind of assess everything because they did overperform expectations by so much last year. So it got fans feeling, oh, this is the norm now with Jaden Daniels. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, you got lucky, which is fine. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You got lucky. You made it to the NFC Championship game, but that was not where you were. And I think they made a lot of moves in the offseason that lined up with them thinking that they were not necessarily an NFC Championship team. But there were a couple periphery moves that made it seem like they thought they could to potentially make it back. Like the Debo trade. It's good, but that might be kind of, maybe not a necessary thing to make. And that's a move you make when you're trying to make it back and bolster your roster for another NFC title run. But the Commanders in all, Quinn's doing a fine job. I think he's a little too loyal, and I think you're seeing that with how Witt played out. I think you're seeing that with Bobby Wagner and a lot of the linebackers. I think you should be getting in some of those young, quick guys just to add a spark to the defense. But I think there's a little bit of loyalty to a fault when it comes to Dan Quinn. But I'd rather have that than, a guy who's willing to cut bait way too soon, and it kind of ruins the chemistry of a locker room. So it's an interesting thing playing out in Washington. It'll get better, but it might get worse before it gets better.
This is the getting worse part, right?
You're right.
For sure.
Like looking at their schedule, not to them play the look ahead at the schedule game, but they've got a bye week. I mean, maybe they win the Vikings game. They've got 2 winnable games left, and they won't be favored in any game remaining, I don't think, because both of their favorable games are on the road in Minnesota, in MetLife Stadium, at the Vikings, at the Giants. You got the Broncos coming out of your bye week on Sunday Night Football. Good luck with that. Whew,
if Jaden comes back and they win.
I don't know. That defense is otherworldly for Denver.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not going to say they're going to be favored against Denver. No,
I think you're saying
I was
Minnesota.
Gonna say, if Jaden comes back and he's healthy enough, they'll probably get a point or two being home against the Cowboys on Christmas. Was the game I was looking at. I don't even think with Jameis at quarterback going into New York, depending on again their situation, I don't know if they'd be favored there.
Yeah. So you look at their schedule, and they've still got a lot of tests left, and sitting at 3-8 now. They could finish the season with maybe 4 wins. So it was fun.
It was good while it lasted. Maybe next year.
Next year, go get them next year. Speaking of a team that has their eyes set on next year, man, the Los Angeles Chargers, they got decimated by injuries in the preseason, and then throughout this year, they've been decimated by injuries. Specifically on their tackles. Left tackle Rashawn Slater, he went down in the preseason with a season-ending injury. Then Joe Alt went down 2 weeks ago with a season-ending injury. And then what happens? They get blown out on the road to the Jacksonville Jaguars, 35-6. The Jaguars pushed across 35 points with Trevor Lawrence passing for just 153. I mean, that was a dominant performance by Jacksonville, and the Chargers, you're looking ahead to next year because you don't have a chance in heck with this offensive line.
Nah, if you can't get healthy, it just ain't going to work, man. And I loved everything about the offensive line. Slater, all back then, they had Marion Hampton at running back. It just set up. The only thing missing was the prolific tight end for a traditional Harbaugh offense, man. Like if he had a Vernon Davis or
Rondé Gadsden might be that
Kittle type thing. Yeah, he might could, but we would never know because he never got the protection there, never got to implement the full system. And maybe it's a blessing in disguise because, Greg Roman offenses usually go stale as they age. With him not having guys out there, them having to pivot so much, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Like I said, maybe it'll lead to some longevity because typically Harbaugh starts hot and then he cools off. But if he's 7-4 isn't necessarily starting cold, but offensively with it not gaining as much traction as we expected, maybe this is something that they can work on next year.
And it was an uncharacteristic performance from the Chargers defense, which has been so good with Jesse Minter as their DC.
I saw a great meme. You know how they do the little meme where you fade like the anamorph?
Yeah.
It was Justin Herbert anamorphing into Sunshine himself because of the game he had. Yikes. It was like, oh man, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Another team that didn't have a great performance, the Kansas City Chiefs.
What?
They're 5-5. They lost by 3 to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, it was a typical mile high home field advantage, man. It wears you as you get older. It wears you down.
You're right, and it wore down the Chiefs late in that one because Bo Nix started to really find a rhythm. The Broncos scored 9 points in the fourth quarter, and I'm just going to go out on a limb and say this because the Broncos scored 33 points in the fourth quarter this year. Mm-hmm. I think the Broncos are the best fourth quarter team in terms of scoring this year. Really just kind of anchored on that huge performance against the Giants and that massive comeback. But just like that, the Broncos now have won 8 straight. They're 9-2, a 3-game advantage over the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West. And the Chiefs now have lost the tiebreaker with the Denver Broncos, meaning that they've got to overcome a whole heck of a lot. And that game later on in the season on Christmas against the Broncos essentially becomes a must-win. The odds of Kansas City winning the AFC West for yet another year, they've won the AFC West each year since 2016. Good luck. Good luck. A lot of things going against you. And the Broncos offense, though, still leaves a lot to be desired. They rush for just 59 yards.
Yeah, but that defense is solid.
That defense
as
is
can
so
be, man.
good. That defense is so good.
Just a beautiful display of bending and not breaking. Because like statistically speaking, Patrick Mahomes throwing for 276 on the Broncos is like throwing for 330 on most people. So that's not a bad game. He did it. He did enough.
He did his job.
Yeah, they did enough, and those are the games that we're used to seeing the Chiefs somehow squeak out the 3-point win or the 1-point win. But again, it's a new age in the AFC, which is strange to say. Because when the Patriots were at the peak of their dynasty, it was never in question. It was Patriots and everybody else.
Yeah.
The Chiefs and the Eagles are 2 teams that you thought would maybe take the next step and be the next dynasty. But, like, here we are week in and week out questioning both of those teams during their dynastic runs.
I think for the Chiefs, at least, they're at the part of their dynasty where the Patriots were in that kind of middle area when they lost to the Giants. And then when they lost to the Giants twice in the Super Bowl, and there was like this weird 7-year period with no Patriots Super Bowl wins. And then they refound their mojo and started cooking. I think the Chiefs are in that middle window because they've been in 6-7 Super Bowls since 2018. Like, they have just been dominating their way through the league, through the AFC. So I think this might be their lull period. For the Eagles, though, that team's just got some problems. Like that team.
I told you what the problem was. You didn't believe me. Did you see him loaf on that pass?
Yes. They need to go to couples therapy.
No, you just
they need to figure that out.
Nope. You need to stop sparing the rod.
You need to
according to the Bible.
Trade AJ Brown. Get rid of him.
Send a message. That's all you need.
That was insane. He got 11 targets and he's still upset. And then after the game, they're asked like, "Well, are you happy now that you got targeted and you got reception?" He goes, "My point was never that I wanted more. It was that I want to help this offense succeed." Sir, to help the offense succeed, you got to run routes. You can't loaf on a deep ball, which was thrown very well by Jalen Hurts. If A.J. Brown runs it out, he may have caught it.
Or gotten the pass interference. But
I'm over A.J. Brown.
The best is that explanation of him being like, "Well, I wasn't talking about anybody specifically." Who throws you the ball, AJ?
Yeah, also you weren't talking about anyone specifically. You just required an owners-only meeting. The owner had to come talk to you. The owner.
Shout out to
Jeffrey Lurie.
Yeah, Lurie he's a great manager of the situation. Like he's putting on a master class of psychology.
Owner. Yeah, and he's a great owner.
Not meddling, but also not allowing things to get too crazy.
Yeah, when things get a little crazy, he's like, "Hey AJ, why don't you come to my office?"
The true heroes, Lurie and Big Dom. The true heroes of the Eagles.
Yeah, we don't talk about enough. The meltdown for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023 was right when Big Dom got banned from the sideline.
Keeping all those guys in line, man.
Truly. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. We'll be back with some college football as UVA dominates Duke on Saturday to cement their spot. Really, they're in the driver's seat now to make it to the ACC championship game. That's coming up.
Looking for a neighborhood service station that can provide premium fuel for your car, auto repairs, and friendly advice? Stop by the family-owned Bon Air Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we make mattress shopping easy. We offer our lowest and best price to everyone, every day, so you can shop when you're ready. We show you exactly what's inside of our mattresses so you can see and feel the quality for yourself to ensure you're getting the best value. And we offer a no-pressure shopping experience. Our team is here to help you find the best mattress for you. It's that easy. Visit an OMF location today to see the Original Mattress Factory difference for yourself.
The RVA Sports Awards are back. Celebrate our sports community by nominating a coach, athlete, or local leader who inspired you and showcases the true RVA spirit. Nominations are now open for Athlete of the Year, Team of the Year, Coach of the Year, as well as Most Inspirational Moment in 2025. The 5th Annual RVA Sports Awards will be held Saturday, January 31st at the Altria Theater, hosted by two-time Olympic gold medalist and soccer legend Brianna Curry. Reserve your tickets today online at visitrichmondva.com.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects.
Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7. For all commercial and residential needs, you need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com.
Pro Weld Fabricators is your #1 source for any of your commercial welding needs.
When it comes to horses, there's something special about Virginia. Just ask Audley Farm horse manager Jamie McDermott.
Virginia has got a very deep history of extremely good horses. You can raise a beautiful horse in Virginia. Our land is untouched. Our paddocks are never overgrazed. Our horses get everything they need all the time. Virginia is the finest place in the world to raise a horse.
Virginia's economy wins with horses.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
It's a holiday cheer and gear classic weekend at the Henrico Sports and Event Center. Stop by to drop off new sports equipment Thursday afternoon on December 4th during our cheer and gear broadcast. And stay for Henrico Battle of the Batches basketball game as the Henrico Fire Department takes on the Henrico Police. Santa will be available for pictures and kids' activities for the little ones starting at 5 and game time is 6 p.m. Parking and event is free. 1 All-Star Boulevard in Glen Allen. Details online at henricosca.com.
Hey, it's Delvin Joyce, JMU Hall of Famer and former New York Giant. Listen, make sure you tune in to Talkin' Dukes every Wednesday on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Go Dukes.
Back in Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside. And over the weekend, UVA. Shout out UVA. We got to give them a round of applause. This was a game, and this might be rude of me, but this was a game I fully expected UVA to get exposed in. I thought UVA was going to get blown out. Maybe not blown out, but lose by a possession or two. I just did not think they were going to be able to go to Duke and hang with Duke, because Duke has got a good quarterback, a good offense. They're a solid team. And yet UVA goes in to Duke, down to Durham, and kind of annihilates the Blue Devils. 34-17. Chandler Morris, the offense as a whole, really was firing on all cylinders. Morris threw for over 300 yards. First time he's done that since the Stanford game on September 20th. Jamari Taylor had 133 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. That's his best game since week 2 of the season, when he had 150 rush yards and 3 touchdowns. Trell Harris, 8 catches, 161 yards. And overall, the Cavaliers offense put up 540 yards. A extremely, extremely impressive game for UVA as they really took it to Duke. And now, with everything left in the season, UVA's got a bye week, then Virginia Tech. And that Virginia Tech game could become a win and in to the ACC championship game because the other teams that they're battling with, Georgia Tech, Pitt, SMU, all the other one-loss teams in conference, Pitt has Georgia Tech and Miami left. I love Pitt. They're going to lose at least one of those games. They did not look competitive against Notre Dame. They're going to lose one of those 2 games. That'll take them out of the running. SMU, they've got Louisville and Cal, so that's a more interesting kind of breakdown. However, Louisville's coming off of that upset loss. They'll probably be playing with a little extra motivation against SMU. So SMU, the Mustangs, they've got something left to prove, especially against Louisville. And so it all opens up really well for UVA, having a bye week this week, then Virginia Tech. The way that offense is performing, you like to see them kick it back into gear because we had not seen that type of performance since the Florida State game. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed, and I was equally impressed with the defense because they held down a Duke offense that's been pretty solid in ACC play. Mensah has been a good quarterback. Duke just had 255 yards and a turnover. So good on UVA, and the defense was put into some tough spots. Morris threw 2 picks. So a lot of positive momentum moving forward for the Cavaliers. All right, let's go out to the phone lines real quick. Carolina Rodney is on line 1. I imagine Carolina Rodney wants to say some words about his Dinwiddie squad.
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to apologize if there any kind of I'm driving a vehicle that I'm hands-free, but you might not be able to hear me as clear.
You sound good. You're coming in loud and clear.
Okay, well, great. I want to talk about my Dinwiddie gentlemen. I want to say one of the best programs here in the state of Virginia. I got Freedom. I got Phoebus. I got Highland Springs. I got Dinwiddie. But for some reason, we don't get the respect that a lot of these teams around the Richmond area get. And so we want to first of all tell Ryan, you've had a great season. We're not going to underestimate you. They came in to Dinwiddie and beat us last year. We had Harry Dawson as quarterback. Harry had a great career. Now that we got quarterback in now, also, you're hearing it from me first. He's going to be a Division I prospect, and he has an awesome chance of being an NFL quarterback. How can I say that? Because I've seen the Kevin Morgan, the Gary Wilkerson, the Adam Morgan. I've seen those guys come up through the Dinwiddie program. This guy is a winner. He's got ice in his veins, and he's going to be the difference Saturday. Lord willing, watch what I tell you.
I'm excited for that one. I mean, 1:30 p.m. Saturday, Verina coming to y'all's house. You got something to prove after last year, and you're right. Boyso has been fantastic this year. I think Syracuse is recruiting him as we speak. He had a visit a couple of weeks ago up to Syracuse. Wow. So the ACC is at least looking at him. So I expect him to go D1 Power 4 because he's that type of talent. I was thoroughly impressed when we saw Dinwiddie play earlier this year against Meadowbrook. And this Saturday's game, I mean, I'm as a unbiased spectator watching Verina and Dinwiddie, Carolina Rodney, I am just excited to watch a good football game and see 2 of the best teams in the 804 square off in the semifinals because that's what the playoffs are about. And Dinwiddie has had a fantastic season. They earned home field advantage, and hopefully that comes through for them on Saturday down there at the Pit.
Dinwiddie plus 8.
All right. There goes Carolina Rodney. I could not. Carolina Rodney, you were going great, and then I could not understand your Bluetooth.
He said Dinwiddie plus 8, okay. But I can't give Dinwiddie 8 points considering they're the number 1 team in their home field.
I think he meant minus 8.
Yeah, I think Dinwiddie by 8 is what he's saying.
Yeah, the Carolina Rodney wouldn't the whole time coming in loud and clear. And then
having seen Verina several times, and obviously having a friend who coaches for Dinwiddie and whatnot, I will say unbiased that this will be a good game, and I'm not giving anybody any points.
No, it's going to be a good
Verina
game.
travels, that defense travels, and they've got their own set of playmakers, and they're well coached, they're well prepared. And Dinwiddie, likewise, you can say the same thing. So it'll be a good game.
It's going to be fantastic. 1:30 p.m. down there in Dinwiddie. We'll be out there. One of our games of the week. We'll also looking for a Friday night game to go to, looking like potentially TJ Armstrong, but kind of keeping that open as we've got, Friday and Saturday around the area, great games across the area. Hopewell's at Petersburg in 3A semifinal action. 4B's got both of their Saturday games. Verina at Dinwiddie, Huguenot at Louisa. 6A, that should be a fun one as LC Bird travels to Oscar Smith. Manchester travels to Thomas Dale in the semifinals there. Highland Springs plays host to William Fleming in 5C. Hermitage goes on the road down to Roanoke to take on Patrick Henry. You've got some big-time matchups across the area.
That's the one I want to see.
Which one?
Patrick Henry and Hermitage.
I was so impressed by Hermitage when we saw them in the season, and just the way that power ratings and everything kind of shook out. They got a 5 seed, so they've got to be road warriors, but a good 26-14 win over the 4th seed Midlothian Trojans.
Yeah, well, the thing, and this is, coming from my folks back home, because Patrick Henry's around our way. A lot of teams just go in there scared, man, and Hermitage has no fear. They don't care. No. That's why, they're gonna suit up, they're gonna play. That doesn't matter who it is, and that intimidation factor sometimes gets to people, and that's why I think Hermitage has shown that no matter where they go, they're gonna bring their A game, and it should be a good game. Somebody needs to challenge Patrick Henry and put them in some positions where they've got to
get them uncomfortable.
Yeah, they've got to actually put forth some effort. It's been a little too easy for them.
Yeah. So I want to backtrack a little bit to college football and go back to that UVA game.
Yes.
Because it deserves some more time.
It does.
I've been one to go, well, the predictive metrics say that UVA is not actually good and all of this stuff and citing the nerd numbers. And they shut me up with that game against Duke, man. 34-17 is an impressive win. And seeing their offensive firepower regain their momentum, they look like what they look like in that Florida State upset win.
Yeah, I was watching that game with a lot of interest, not just because it was UVA, but just to see the body language, the energy right around the team. This was a perfect game for a letdown, and not only was it not a letdown, but I think it was a statement.
Yeah,
that they're going to be playing their best ball at the right time, and this I think was one of their best games of the year, just because Mensa and this offense has put up some numbers on a lot of people. Matter of fact, I think they gave Georgia Tech some fits when they played them or hosted them down at Duke too.
Yeah.
And UVA made it look pretty easy, across the board, not just offense and defense, but special teams too. Everything just looked really good. And it's perfect to take that into a bye week. Then you got the rivalry game. You got to beat Tech. You can't overlook Tech.
You got to beat Tech.
You got to beat Tech.
This might be one of the more high stakes Commonwealth clashes that we've seen in
for
a
Virginia.
decade.
Maybe not for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, you're right.
For Virginia, absolutely.
Because as it's shaken out now, Pitt and Georgia Tech have a head-to-head game, so that'll knock one of them out of the running. SMU, they've got Louisville. SMU, that's just going to be a good game. But Virginia, you got the bye week and you got the Hokies. You can finish 7-1 pretty easily, considering how Virginia Tech has looked these last couple of weeks. Now, I know it's a rivalry, things are different, but you could, that was just such a massive win where it just puts everything so much more back into your control. Just win out and you're likely in. And I say likely because there is a potential for a weird tiebreaker and everything like that, which mucks some things up.
It has been almost a decade since a team from the Commonwealth played in the ACC championship.
The last team to do it was UVA, right, under Bronco Mendenhall?
Probably. Although Virginia Tech,
Miami?
Virginia Tech was in 2016 against Clemson. I have to check UVA, but either way, it's been a long time, and nobody, to my knowledge, has ever factored into the college football playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs.
So there's that as well. It's just a big game all around. Bragging rights doubled essentially.
Yeah.
And for UVA, don't get too carried away with it. Just play your best ball like they've been doing. And rivalry games can get crazy, but they're in the driver's seat just simply off of the way the schedule's set up. Them beating Duke, getting a bye week, like we had said last week, Pittsburgh and all that will sort itself out. between Georgia Tech and everything. They beat Duke hit to hit, so you don't have to worry about them. But like Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech will sort itself out. And if you're UVA, this is as easy of an opportunity to get in that you can ask for. With the Hokies team in disarray, I couldn't think of a better matchup to not lose motivation and to also keep your focus coming off a bye.
Yeah, UVA made the ACC championship game in 2019.
Okay,
but you're right. I mean that was a coach ago. That feels like an eternity ago.
Yeah, especially with the way things have changed.
So, and they got blown out by Clemson. I think the final score was 62-17.
You know, nothing wrong with that. Clemson used to be good.
Throwback. Wonder if they'll ever get good again. Poor Dabo.
Yeah, BC and AD. They were good in BC.
Before?
I was just
before Clemson.
Making a joke.
I was trying to keep it going there. All right, whatever. All right, let's get a quick break in. We'll step aside. We've got some overreactions from the weekend that we've got to get to. That's coming up.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 235.
Have other law firms turned your case down? Maybe they didn't think you had a case. Maybe they just didn't want to spend the money to investigate. Truth is, some firms don't have the resources to fund a big fight. Alexander Chinara Trial Attorneys. We won't back down. We investigate, we fund, and it won't cost you a dime until we win. 877-222-6666 or go to Chinara.com. Alexander Chinara Trial Attorneys. We don't settle, we win.
This is advertising material.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
From kickoff to the final whistle. Let's go! Your Sundays belong to the NFL. The league's best matchups all season long. Only on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks NFL all season long.
Overreaction Monday.
Chiefs will miss the playoffs. We're coming in hot.
No, I actually have a completely different take.
Oh, no. Is it the exact opposite? The Chiefs will win the AFC West?
Up is now down. And if you're down now, you will be up later on in the season. You do not want to see any wild card team in the AFC. Your number 1 and number 2 seed teams will not be the best teams in the AFC this year.
Bold.
That's
wow.
my overreaction. You're gonna hate life.
Like if you're like the 1 seed, you get the bye week and you're like, oh, thank goodness. And then it comes around to the playoffs. It comes around to the divisional round, and like the Broncos are sitting there like, wait, we've got who?
Exactly. We've got the Bills coming in. We've got the, I don't know, Steelers,
Chiefs?
Jags, Chiefs coming in. Like these are teams that are good, man. These are teams that we expected to win division titles, and they're now wild card teams. That's not a good look for the top teams.
Yeah, but the Chiefs got the Chiefs got so much work to do to try and break into the playoffs.
They do, and I think that might make it worse because they're gonna come in fresher with more reps than usual. Usually they're taking the last game off type thing, and then they get the bye. Nah.
It's just for the Chiefs. I'm talking Chiefs only because I do think it's funny the different feelings between the 5-5 teams. The Chiefs 5-5, the Ravens 5-5. But for the Chiefs, it feels like they put themselves so much behind the 8 ball to start the year, giving themselves like no room for error. Then they rattled off a 3-game win streak. It's like, all right, here we go. Then they've now dropped back-to-back road games to go to 5-5. It just feels like they're playing with fire. And when you play with fire, you get burnt.
Also, I'll throw in a hot take. Texans are going to be in the playoffs over the Jags.
That's crazy.
I think the Texans will get it done.
That's crazy.
Their defense is good, man.
Their defense is good, but their offense is maybe the worst in the National Football League.
They just need Stroud to get healthy, and then they'll be all right. I'm telling you.
I highly disagree with that one. Although I don't trust the Jaguars whatsoever.
You can't trust them.
I mean, how do you have a 35-6 win over the Chargers, one of the better defenses in the NFL, and you also have some head-scratching losses and some head-scratching performances? Brian Thomas can't catch a ball. Travis Hunter's, he's gone with an LCL injury. I mean, you're right. Saying the Texans will take down the Jaguars isn't the craziest thing, but I mean, the Texans have just been, one of the ugliest teams to watch this year.
Yeah,
by far.
They're not a pretty watch, but they've already beat Jacksonville with their backup quarterback. Got that out the way, and they're only a game behind. So essentially, we're going to bank on who's going to be the most consistent team down the stretch.
And which one is getting a quarterback back that is better than the other. Like C.J. Stroud is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence.
You can depend on that Texans defense. You can't depend on the Jags.
My next one, Rams are the best team in the NFC. And the second best team is the Bucs, despite the L.
Despite the L.
They went into Buffalo. They had a high-flying affair with the Bills. Josh Allen decided to go full Superman with 6 total touchdowns, 3 rushing, 3 passing. But for the Rams, on the Rams side of this, that was a very impressive win. And I know Seattle threw 4 picks, and they still had an opportunity to win it late, missing the 61-yard field goal. But, I mean, Los Angeles' defense was still able to force 4 turnovers and held the Seahawks out of the end zone for 57.5 minutes. Look, they moved the ball enough against a Mike McDonald defense, which in the past has given Sean McVay fits. I am way too high on the Rams because I also believe they are the only team that can go into Lincoln Financial Field and down the Eagles despite their meltdown earlier this year in Philly. I think the Rams are the team to beat in the NFC if they stay healthy.
All right, I'm going to go on the on the college football side. And it's Sarkisian's, he's not going to get it done. He's got to go.
Yeah,
he's got to go.
Haven't I been saying this for a while?
Not be fired, but it's just like, just give up on the college thing and just
go
stay
back to the NFL.
Yeah,
go be an OC. NFL. Go be an OC. I mean, that was a ugly loss to the Georgia Bulldogs.
That
35-10.
That loss to Georgia was like just the personification of the entire season. Collectively, all the failures of Texas and Sarkisian came to the front. It wasn't all on Arch. Arch made some plays and some throws. Guys just didn't make catches for him. But like the onside kick and just how like the game was getting away from him. The whole first half, the defense looked, and I hate to throw this out there, but they looked like the Commanders. Guys are confused. They're talking in the middle of the snap. Georgia's best football all season came against Texas, and defensively, every time Texas has played Georgia, they've looked like world beaters. There's just something there that just doesn't click.
They've got the mental edge. They have the mental edge.
And Georgia is one of the gatekeepers of getting into the upper echelon of college football. There's Georgia, there's Ohio State, and on any given Sunday or Saturday, there's like a Michigan or Notre Dame in there, but Alabama might be in the mix. But there's certain programs, you have to beat them in order to consider yourself taking the next step of being one of the best.
I've got to tell you a weird thought that I have, and it's how my mind works, especially when it comes to the teams like the Georgias, the Alabamas, the quote-unquote gatekeepers of like the upper echelon.
Yeah.
In my mind, those teams, their colors are gray. Like, they just like are this team that exists in my mind, and it's like, oh yeah, they're just there every time, and they don't really have any personality. They are just gray, teams. Like they're there. They're just like they're like the computer sim, like the CPU when you're playing, and it's just like, man, we got to beat the boss. It's so hard to beat the boss.
They're typically the final boss. And going into Ohio State, going into Georgia, like winning that game, I'm not putting it there, right? Because a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
But you got to compete.
You got to compete.
And that was not competitive.
And you were competing going into the fourth quarter. Like it was 17-14. Yeah. And I was like, all right, here we go. Let's lock in and have some fun here in the fourth quarter. Then the Bulldogs scored 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter. Like that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
And I'm looking at the totality of the game, right? Like it's not just the final score. Like I can see systematically where the decline started and how they just ran away from you. And you know, they talked about the committee and stuff, but even if you're doing the eye test, that looks bad.
Yes.
If you can't be my play-in team, you're
you're right. Like that. You cannot. Here's the question for you. Which is the more embarrassing L, 35-10 loss for the Texans, for Texas, or the blown 31-30 loss for South Carolina?
The blown loss to South Carolina.
I just got to bring that up as often as I can. Yes. I literally drive home from the bar, or my friend drives home, who's the designated driver. Always drink responsibly. Yes. And get home, and I pull up my phone, and I was just like, huh? Wait, the ride was 10 minutes. How is Texas A&M down 30-24? This is crazy.
Unacceptable.
That was sad. That was utterly embarrassing. And we watched
the type of stuff I'm telling you. I try not to be irate about stuff, but man, I couldn't be an AD in that, or an owner, and that happens. Like imagine you're the Mora family. Yeah. You're the Mara family. And you
Dayball blows that
you watch Dayball blow that Broncos game. How do you make it back on the plane?
Bro, I'm not letting him on my plane.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You
look,
gotta go.
If I was an owner, this takes a lot for me to say. If I was an owner, I would be a reactionary owner probably. I would have to be locked in a room after a game, so I away from my phone, so I wouldn't tweet anything reckless or fire a coach on accident.
Yeah, don't talk to me for at least 48 hours.
Yeah, let me simmer down a little bit, and then we can have a conversation. Because if I'm the owner and Dayball blows that game against the Broncos, he's not making it back to New York. Yeah. Was that game in Denver?
That was in Denver.
Yeah, he's not making it back to New York. He's not landing in LaGuardia, JFK, or Newark, whichever one they fly into. Or
you fly into Newark and you gotta Uber back across.
Man, he wouldn't have to Uber back across if he's living on the Jersey side. You know, with this.
That's true.
Although I wonder where they live, because that New York would be my least favorite team to go play for.
It wouldn't be my favorite market to play for, but man, the opportunity is endless.
Yeah. All right, I got another overreaction. Refs, and no, this is not a copy and paste from earlier in the season. Refs are ruining the game of football.
Whoa, hold on. I think you should amend that and say ruining the game of football at the NFL level.
Yes, refs are ruining the game at the NFL level.
There's a reason for that.
The refs were good in college over the weekend. The refs are... But at the NFL level, they are part-time contract employees. They're not unionized, nothing like that. The NBA has unionized refs. I think the MLS does, the MLB does. But for some odd reason, the NFL has decided, no, we're going to do it with a bunch of part-time contract workers on 1099s, and in their spare time, they're all lawyers around the country. It makes no sense. But last night's, and it shouldn't have been, but it was, a game-deciding defensive pass interference. That is unacceptable. That is an unacceptable play call. And if that's going to happen, you need expedited review. You need something to protect the players in that game. I mean, it's just so frustrating that it's ruining the game.
There's too many rules in the NFL. I keep telling people, man.
Have you ever watched football with someone who's not a huge football fan, and you have to explain the rules to them?
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like with soccer, there's a couple of easy rules. Don't be too physical and don't be offside. What's offside? Oh, it's when the pass comes and the offender is further back than the defender. You can't be further back than the defender. And it's like, okay, I can follow those two rules. Then you go to try and explain the NFL, and it's like, okay, so what are they doing? All right, so they have 3 downs to try and pick up 10 yards, and if they don't, then they punt it. But sometimes they can go for it on 4th down if they really want to. And then down the field, they're allowed to touch each other, but they can't touch each other past 5 yards. If they do, it's either defensive holding, illegal contact, or pass interference. Each one has differing severity levels of what the penalty is. Oh, and by the way, the offensive player can do it, but he can't. And it's just like, oh my goodness, how does anyone follow the league?
Yeah, and you got to think you're putting that, like processing that information, you're putting that responsibility on somebody in real time, and the game is super fast.
Super fast.
Super fast. Like sideline college, sideline NFL, sideline high school. It's incredible how the difference at the NFL level, like the speed, like just in seeing
and
things,
the power.
Yeah, and processing things. So I'm like, it's hard to it's hard to be super critical of the officials without being super critical of the league itself, because they're not making their jobs any easier.
Yeah.
And it's not like the officials are asking for more responsibilities and more rules.
Yeah, and it's just getting thrown on them.
Yeah, covering high school this year has just been a breath of fresh air because it's the purest form of the sport, and it's just not a lot of
and
nonsense.
It's so fun.
Although we've seen some bad officiating in high school too. It's just not as bad as like the NFL.
I got one more hot take,
All right.
or I guess overreaction. Sorry, J.J. McCarthy needs to be benched.
For who?
I don't care. Tank the season. You got it wrong with McCarthy.
He wasn't that
good. You got it wrong with McCarthy. Go back to the drawing board. I'm sorry. He's not it.
There's nothing better out there, even in the next draft.
Okay, then you're taking 2 years off. You know, I heard Kirk Cousins is available.
I wouldn't mess with it.
I just,
Kirk hasn't even played in a year.
I know, but J.J. McCarthy's just not it, man. And he's so bad.
He is.
That's all. All right. Do you got another overreaction?
Oh, yeah. It's one that needs to be said, and I like to bring this up every year. Nobody cares about the in-season tournament in the NBA. I know Bruce is probably listening like, what? No, seriously. Can we just kill it, man? The NBA needs to stay the NBA, the National Basketball Association. We don't care about the FIBA stuff. We don't care about these stupid court designs. We don't care about the new jerseys and all this and that. It's a waste of time.
This sounds like someone who's a Michael Jordan fan, and Michael Jordan never won the NBA Cup, unlike my goat.
Yeah, right. The NBA Cup is the only thing propping your guy up is being better than Michael Jordan, apparently. But like, maybe there's been a little bit more buy-in from the players this year, I think. But overall, like, what do you accomplish from that? Like, absolutely nothing. It does nothing for the regular season.
I think it's hurt the regular season, honestly, because now it's like more different. And the NBA already, because this is like a percolating overreaction / hot take with like, I think a big reason why the NBA offseason doesn't do good numbers is because the trades make no sense.
Yeah.
And I think now making the NBA Cup part of it all, it makes the NBA regular season make no sense. Where you're like, all right, guys, let's lock in. Tonight we've got a regular season game. Well, actually, it's an NBA Cup game, and it has no standing on the regular season. It's like, what? I was ready to watch a game.
Dude,
I don't know.
I saw the NBA sent out a graphic, or maybe it was the Bucks or whoever, sent out a graphic about Darvin Ham being undefeated in the NBA Cup.
You know who else is undefeated in the NBA Cup? Me.
It's just a waste. It's a formality that's a waste of time of a product that's already too diluted as we speak.
Yes.
Like it's just not it, man. Just kill it.
Just kill it. And on that note, I think that's a perfect way to take our last break of this Monday morning. We'll be back with more Fitz the Bill as we wrap up this November 17th edition.
You don't have to be just a number when it comes to your health care. The average doctor cares for 4,000 patients per year, while a Welcome MD doctor like Dr. Richard Peoples sees less than 400 patients per year. This means you get better personalized health care specific to your needs. Aren't you worth it? Make an appointment today with Dr. Peoples at 804-774-7099 or visit welcomemd.com. Mention this ad for a special discount. Welcome MD.
Richmond LSV is a proud supporter of Holiday Cheer and Gear on December 4th at Henrico Sports and Events Center. RichmondLSV.com. Fun, fully charged.
Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, plus the leading technology from Lennox. Now that's a perfect duo. For a limited time, we're offering up to $1,500 in rebates, or qualified buyers make no payments, incur no interest for 60 months when financing a new Lennox system. Plus, receive up to $2,600 in federal tax credits. Call Herman W. Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 804-746-5853, or visit us online at hermanallenplumbing.com to learn more.
At East Coast Appliance, we've decided to give you Black Friday pricing all month long. That's right, save up to 75% off Virginia's largest inventory of new appliances. Our biggest discounts of the year on ranges, refrigerators, washers, dryers, everything. Plus special financing with no interest until 2027. Offers good while supplies last, so don't wait. Score the best deal of the year on the new appliance you've been looking for. The Black November sale going on now at East Coast Appliance, where you always get the best price or it's free. At East Coast Appliance, we used to shop all over town to make sure you were getting the best price. Now we use AI to make the process easier and a whole lot faster. We have electronic price tags on all of our appliances that scan our competitors' prices and then check our prices to make sure we're lower. We take our best price guarantees seriously, and this helps to save our customers time and money. So if you're in the market for a new appliance, just stop by your local East Coast Appliance Superstore and see for yourself. East Coast Appliance, the best price or it's free.
The RVA Sports Awards are back. Celebrate our sports community by nominating a coach, athlete, or local leader who inspired you and showcases the true RVA spirit. Nominations are now open for Athlete of the Year, Team of the Year, Coach of the Year, as well as Most Inspirational Moment in 2025. The 5th Annual RVA Sports Awards will be held Saturday, January 31st at the Altria Theater, hosted by two-time Olympic gold medalist and soccer legend Brianna Curry. Reserve your tickets today online at visitrichmondva.com.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
From Richmond and beyond, Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN breaks down Virginia sports like nobody else. Bold opinions, zero sugarcoating. Tune in.
Do you hear that boo from the distance? It's really far away, but you hear a boo coming as VCU plays NC State, and Allen's getting his voice ready to boo Will Wade all the way from Richmond, Virginia, down there in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I can't wait. I've never disliked somebody that I never had a personal interaction with.
So VCU takes on NC State tonight. It should be a wildly fun game on the ACC network, 7 p.m. tip. These are two teams that run an extremely high tempo, and NC State, albeit not against world beaters to start this year, their best opponent's been UAB, who's 107th in KenPom. Other than that, it's been NC Central and UNC Greensboro. But NC State is shooting at a 69% clip from inside the arc, and the Wolfpack currently rank second in the nation in effective field goal percentage.
Phil, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
If Phil Martelli wins this game,
he's my GOAT.
He would enter the upper echelon of all-time great VCU coaches. The quickest in history.
If Phil Martelli wins this game, he will always have a place in Richmond. He can stay tonight. He can get a drink. Whatever you need, Phil, I got you.
Just win this game and you become.
Please don't let this dude win.
Automatic legend.
Automatic legend.
Him. KenPom's got NC State winning by 10 points. VCU has, they're 2-1 to start the year. A dominant win over a bad Wagner team. A dominant win against a bad St. Peter's team. And a close 3-point win, a close 3-point loss against Utah State in a game I think if you talk to some VCU fans, they said they should have won.
Yeah, I thought they should have won.
It was a big comeback, but it kind of fell just a little short. VCU's offense has been really solid in terms of A10 foes. They're 89th in the country in efficiency. And they shoot the ball well. They're one of the best shooting teams from long range, but they're going to have their hands full on the defensive side against NC State, who's been lights out and finding a ton of rhythm recently. So it should be a fun one. 7 p.m. ACC Network, VCU, NC State. Allen's warming up his vocal cords as we speak.
I'm telling you, this is one of the few games I will be talking to the TV. Not going to say what I'm saying back, but I'll be talking.
It'll talk back,
TV.
too. It'll talk back. He hears you all the way down in Raleigh. He knows.
Man.
He knows.
He was down in...
Yeah, and you were nice to him.
No, I didn't even get to... He didn't talk to any of us. He did a hit with somebody down there, and then he ran off.
Yeah, because he knew you. So he said, I know that guy.
I can be professional.
Yeah, no, I know.
But off the record, though, I need my fair one.
Off the record, I'm going to say this on radio. No one use that against me. Gosh, darn it.
Use it. He should know. He should know how I feel.
No, that's true.
He should know how VCU fans feel about it.
If Martelli does it, man, Martelli becomes.
It's all good, Martelli. Keep doing your thing, man. It's good. It's good energy around the program.
It's great energy around the program. Team's fun. So coming up next, we've got Clinton and Friends takes you into the Rich Eisen Show. Then we're back live and local starting at 3 p.m. from the Ortho Virginia studios here in the capital of the Commonwealth. Matt Joseph's Border to Border, 3 to 4. Bob Black will join him from 4 until 5 with the Mashup Hour. And 5 until 6, we've got the Sports Huddle as Bob Black takes you on home on this Monday, November 17th. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us. Same time, same place tomorrow. We cannot wait. Until then, have a great rest of your Monday and the start of the week. ESPN Richmond fits the bill.